Welcome to our day 12 of the Rising. It's always such a joy to be able to do these live, to get up in the mornings and feel that I'm able to make this connection and that the other people are making a connection through the practices that we are doing. So, we're at this point where we are now. I'd love us to be able to put together everything that you have learned over the last 11 sessions. So we've isolated body parts and movements that the body can make, and I'm going to try to joyfully flow through all of those positions and movements and awareness exercises. It should feel the movements should all feel familiar to you. Some of them might be in different positions, but you have done them all before, rest assured. Sometimes when people think, oh, we're going to flow or we're going to vinyasa is the word in yoga practice, it is too much. But if you've been doing these practices, it'll all be really lovely and familiar to you. And when there's familiarity, you begin to relax into it and begin to enjoy it. So I'd like you to smile, I'd like you to breathe, I'd like you to enjoy the meditative movement that we're going through together. Okay, so before we begin to move, we're going to settle in still just to make sure that we're nicely grounded and rooted. Closing the eyes, sitting up nice and tall, just remembering your spine lengthening awareness, sit bones working down towards the ground, crown of the head lifting upwards towards the sky, base of the skull drawing up, chin coming in, shoulders moving back and down, allowing the thighs and the knees to rest, so take as much height as you need. Closing the eyes and bring your awareness to your breathing here and now, in and out of your nostrils. Imagine that balloon inflating in the abdomen and deflating. As you breathe in, there's the inflation. Recall when you were lying on your belly and you practiced this breath with the feedback of the ground. And breathing out. Now see for the next 3 rounds if you can lengthen the inhalation or the exhalation to make both rhythms of breath equal. So see if you can breathe in for a count of possibly 4 and out for that equal length, or possibly 5, just working to your own rhythm or working up for those that have been practicing this before. Steadying the mind on the sound, on the numbers, on the movement of your breath, on the sensations of your breath. Last round, equal length in and equal length out. At the end of that exhalation, allowing the eyes to open, but keep your awareness inside your own body space or your mat space. So focusing inwards and down without moving the neck or the head. And allowing the corners of your mouth to lift upwards towards your ears so that you're having a little smile to yourself. And breathe out through the mouth with a long sigh. Well done. Okay, now we're prepared. So we take our time to move onto all fours into child's pose. So see how you can get yourself there. So your knees are hip width apart or even wider, maybe mat width apart. You can use a cushion under your hips or take a cushion under your head or forget about the cushion altogether. Stretching out with the hands, pushing back with the hips, lengthening the spine, and allow the head to drop. You can work down onto the elbows if you need to. If you wish, just taking the head into the hands there. And breathe for 2 rounds in and out of the nose back to that meditative breath, sensing the movement of the breath, but the stillness in the body, lengthening through the spine, through the thighs. And after your next exhalation, press down into your hands and into your elbows and just moving the head so that it hovers off the mat. Pausing there, push your shoulders down and back to the back of your mat. And then draw your chin in towards your collarbones, pausing there, just nice and gentle, and move the head to look forward. If that feels okay, you don't need to squash in the neck at all. Keep pushing into the mat with the hands, and again, chin in towards the collarbones, and then moving the head to look forward. Good. From here, maybe twisting the head right and left, just recalling these neck movements. Twisting right and left, saying no. Coming back to the center, head is looking to the mat, and then lifting the left ear up, but dropping the right shoulder down. Breathing into that. If you feel nice and steadied in your child's pose, you can reach the left hand back behind you and breathe here, or taking your hand onto your lower back. Breathe. Slowly bring the head back to center and release. And then right ear lifts, dropping the right shoulder. Breathe into that. If that feels okay and you feel nicely balanced, you can swing the right hand back behind you, maybe rest it on your back. Breathe there to get into that neck stretch. We've done this, but in a different position. Back to the center and reach forward. Well done. From here, we're going to bring ourselves into puppy pose. So you're working the knees close together, lifting your hips away from your heels. Take your time. And then just see, we're going to grip your toes onto the mat so you feel nice and steady. Just see if you can stretch the arms out a little and drop the chest down. Try to grip with your toes. Breathe here. If you need the ground to come higher to you, you can work a cushion under your head. Breathe. Stretching and opening up in the shoulders, strengthening through the arms as you do this. Well done. Breathe. Slowly easing yourself out of this position and crawling into all fours, pushing into your hands. Grip with your toes again and look back towards your belly. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Remember, spreading the webbing between each finger. You can see lots of mat between the fingers there. Look back towards your belly into angry cat, working your sit bones to your heels. Good. And then releasing that and coming into happy cat. So your armpits are pulling back, your sternum is drawing forward. Well done. And your tail is lifting up. Good. No strain in the neck. Maybe have a little neck stretch, lifting the ears away from the shoulders. Back to center. Push into the hands around the spine, looking towards your belly again. Angry cat. And releasing back into happy cat. Shoulder, armpits back. Good. Working the head forward. And coming back to somewhere between those two positions. Release the toes and give them a good pat on the ground there. Waking up the feet, well done. And then waking up the wrists and the hands, rotating the fingers out to the side. You've done these before. Take your time with it, just working around all of the face of the clock with your hands, stretching the wrists. Each time you lift the hands, can you spread the fingers even wider to make a wider imprint on the mat there? If your hands dipped in paint, imagine the patterns that you were making here on your mat. Good. Try to fill up all of the space with that imaginary paint. So rolling in and out as much as you comfortably can. Good. And then fingers facing forward all the way down to one hand. Take the opposite hand off the mat and flip over. Spread the fingers wide so you're working into the fingernails, and just a gentle rock forward and back to stretch the back of the wrist. Good. And slowly release, rotate the wrist around. And then we do it to the other side. Spread the fingers wide onto your fingernails again, rocking forward and back. Breathing through this. Slowly releasing, rotate the wrist again. Good. Hands onto the mat. And now gripping the left toes onto the mat and push back with the heel. Feel that calf stretch. We've done this before. Grip with the right toes, possibly raise the knee off the mat and look back towards your belly. Remember, it's that starting race position. Release down. And then we go to the other side, gripping with the right toes, grip with the left toes as well, push into the hands and raise the knees off the mat. Breathe there. and release. Good, onto both knees again. And then we're going to begin that circling disco cat action. See how much movement you can get there. You can work your bum right back to your heels. You can work your shoulders all the way forward towards your fingers, circling around. And then we go into the opposite direction. You can bend the elbows and then straighten the elbows. Breathing as you do this, enjoying it. And remember, this is a joyful movement practice. Well done. You might like to try those snaking spines. So snaking up and down, or figure of eights, whatever works for you. Breathing all the time, and then right back into child's pose. Allow the head to drop. Hips are nice and open, knees wide. Breathing in and out here. Take your time to rest, lengthen the spine. And then gently, with your hips back towards your heels, see if you can push into your elbows and raise your hands off the mat. Press down with those elbows, breathe there. And then rotate the wrists in this position, in one direction and then in the opposite direction. Take your time. Well done, push back into the hips. And then slowly back into your child's pose, breathing here. Well done, hips back to heels, breathing happily. In and out of the nostrils, take your time. Well done. Good, from here we're going to walk our hands back underneath our shoulders so that we're in a kneeling position, and then ease yourself up into a high kneeling. Well done. Take all of your weight onto your right knee and step your left foot forward. Breathe there. And then raising your arms up above your head. Breathe here. Well done. Then slowly pushing your hands out in front of you. Remember, we've done this, rounding the spine. We've done this in Angry Cat already. Push the hands back behind you. So it's Happy Cat recreated, but upright. Well done on the knees. Push their hands forward again, this time bending elbows, fingertips to shoulders. And we're going to twist over that front leg. So breathing into this twisting action. If you wish, stretch the arms out wide. Give the fingers a little wiggle. Make sure you have a little smile to yourself. Fingertips towards the shoulders and unravel the twist. Okay, into a side bend here. So reaching the arms up above your head. I've realized I'm far too close to the camera. So sorry, not at all. It's just the angle. Okay, raising the arms up above the head. Reach the left hand down and the right arm up above the head. So you're getting into that side bending action. Yeah, not a forward bend. I'm just trying to show you for my camera. Good, reaching up. Back to center, and then a forward fold. So belly to your thigh, wrap your arms around your legs and hold this position, lengthening the spine, breathing into this. Well done. If you're really feeling enthusiastic and energized by this practice this morning, you might like to take your fingertips to the ground or keep the arms where they are, grip with the back toes and straighten the back leg. So you're getting a lovely spine lengthening position here, but you're also working into strengthening the front leg and stretching the back leg. Well done. Release the hands down, lower that back knee, and then step back onto the knees. Give the hips a nice wiggle, right and left. And then we go taking the opposite foot forward, okay? Stepping forward, easing, raising the arms up above the head. Well done. Breathe happily here. Good. Reach the hands in front of you, Angry Cat. Push them back, Happy Cat. So flexion and extension. Slowly raising the arms up above the head. And then reaching the lower hand down. So if it's the right leg in front, it's the right hand down. And then left arm overhead. Breathe there. Back up. Fingertips to shoulders. And then twist over that front leg. Breathe. Twist the belly a little further. And reach the arms out, wiggle the fingers, breathe. Fingertips back to shoulders, take your time, move the head to look in front, unravel, and back into that forward fold. Well done, you can hold on to the back of the thigh, breathe, feel the belly rising and falling towards and away from the belly. It's that feedback again. If you wish, maybe raising the back knee, any version of it, hands to the ground or hands behind the leg, or forget about it and just continue to breathe happily here. Good. Then taking your time, hands to the ground and step back, or if you wish from kneeling, step back, whatever works best for you. And then slowly we're going to crawl ourselves forward and come to lying down on our bellies. Well done, you've done this before as well. Have the cushion close by. Reach the arms out in front of you and just imagine that monkey bar action again. So you're reaching your hands up as far as you can. So crawl, crawl, crawl as much as you can to reach to those monkey bars or to the high shelf. And then pushing your toes back as far as you can. Allow your chin to draw in, your head to rest towards the ground, and breathe here for a moment. So crawling those fingers forward. Well done. Breathe into it. Shoulder blades are tracking up towards the ears for this position, pushing into your baby fingers a little more. And then if it feels okay, don't move the head to look forward towards your screen. Don't move your face up towards the ceiling. Just begin to hover your nose off the mat and breathe there. Pushing your toes back, your sit bones back to your heels. Well done. And allow the head to drop. Slowly stay on your elbows. Bend at the elbows, take your fingertips to touch. Push into those elbows strongly. Push your armpits to the ground and then lifting your nose off the mat to hover. And if it feels okay, move the head to look forward beyond your mat. Not up to the ceiling, just beyond your mat. Breathe here, pushing into your elbows, armpits down, shoulders down. Breathe. Feel that feedback from the ground as you breathe right down to your belly. Well done, lower the chest. Okay, now from here, we're going to take the hands underneath the head, reach for your cushion, and then place the cushion under your head, and we're going to roll over onto our right sides. We've done this before. Reach both hands out in front of you. Your hips are nicely stacked, your knees are stacked, and your shoulders are stacked. Breathing here. And then gently lifting that top arm up towards the ceiling and slowly opening it out behind you. And you can move your head to look to the ceiling, or you can move your head to look to the left. Breathe there. So you go as far as feels comfortable. If this length is too much, the lever here is too much, fingertips to shoulders instead. And breathe. So feeling that nice spinal twist here. Good. Slowly keeping the knees together and come back onto your hips, breathing there. Then soles of feet together, knees wide, arms open wide. Breathe into this hip opener and opening up through the shoulders and the chest as well. Good. Allow the knees and the thighs to come together. Lift the feet off the mat and hug the thighs into the belly. Have a gentle rock right and left. From here, cross the right leg over the left as if we're sitting on a chair, arms wide, and then hugging the arms, one elbow on top of the other. Try to hold on to your shoulder blades and have a little rock right and left. Good. Release the hands. We've done this before, but in a different position. See if you can take those eagle arms, so fingers reach up into the palm. Breathe. Well done. If you wish, you can have a little rock of the hips here, so you get a nice gluteus massage, and you can work into your lower back as well. Well done. And if you're feeling really excited, you might like to lift your head and your shoulders off the mat, but that's full on if you haven't practiced much. Arms open wide. Good. And roll all the way over onto your left hip. You might need to adjust a little bit to stack those hips on top of each other, shoulders on top of each other, and head resting on the cushion there. Then slowly lifting that top arm, the right arm up to the ceiling. You might like to lower it back down again. You might like to open it a little wider, see how it goes, or fingertips onto the shoulders, breathing happily here, trying to work that open, the right shoulder, open and down. Breathe. Taking your time, pushing strongly. You can rotate onto the palms to help you push all the way onto your hips. Hug thighs into belly, knees into chest. And then crossing the left leg over the right. You can double cross the legs if you've done this before. Crossing the elbows over each other, so you're holding onto your shoulder blades. And then reach out with the hands, so releasing, and see if you can hold onto the fingers again. You can have a little circle, Breathing into those buttock muscles there, giving them a good old stretch out. You can work your elbows away from your chest, your fingers away from your head. Nice shoulder stretch as well. If you wish, head lifting up and lowering down. Good. Breathe in and out. Arms open wide. Release the legs. And then you'll remember my favorite pose, legs up. The no wall, the invisible wall at the moment, stretching the legs up. Have a look at your toes, rotate your ankles, have a little wiggle about there, breathing in and out. Good. You can bend the knees, hug the thighs into the belly, have a little circle. Take a good breath in and out with your thighs against your belly. All the way out. Feet to the mat, pausing there, hands onto the belly. Breathe right down to the skin between your belly button and your pubic bones. Inflating as you breathe in, deflating as you breathe out. Smile to yourself. Happy, joyful movements for the body this morning. Stretching the legs out. Well done. Have a little wiggle. You can keep your hands on your belly or rotate your palms up towards the ceiling, shoulders dropping, neck long, chin in. Breathing in and out. And as you lie here, bring your awareness to your heart center and acknowledge your 3 gratitudes at this moment in your life. Trying to come up with something new. Might be an ever so tiny acknowledgement of something that you have or you've seen or you've done in the last few days, an awareness that has become a little brighter. And I'm going to leave you here this morning with these gratitudes, with this sense of an open heart, resting deeply for as long as you like. If you need to come up, you roll over onto your right side, push into your left hand and come up to sitting. Make sure that you feel nicely grounded before you go about the rest of your day. And resting here deeply with an open heart, acknowledging these practices that you've made time for in your life, acknowledging beyond yourself, your community, and those in the world and your community that need extra support and help at this time. Well done, everyone. Namaste.